Ask an Atheist. We're a weekly educational call-in program dedicated to atheism, skeptical inquiry, and the separation of church and state. We come to you live every week from Scan Studios in Seattle, and we're on from 3 to 4 Pacific Time, and we're archived online at askanatheist.tv. I'm Mike Gillis, and with me this week is our conspiracy and skepticism expert, Case.
Thank you very much,
how are you doing?
Mike. I'm doing terrific. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. It's been an interesting week. It's been a lot of fun for the last hour dealing with fun technical issues. And
yeah, we have a series of really technical, nasty snags that are hanging us up today, but we're going to work our way through the show. We'll get this going. So anyway, today's show is a really good one. Basically, we're going to be looking at conspiracy theories, and I really hope that this is going to be part of a running series, that we'll actually review this, or not just conspiracy theories, but just skepticism in general. I think that it's a topic that's worth looking at over and over again. So probably the leading question here is, well, why skepticism in an atheist show? Because this is Ask an Atheist and not Ask a Skeptic. And pretty much it's when you look at atheism, you're basically, well, at least for us, we're looking at atheism in a very scientific way, in that we approach it with, do the claims for a God, do they hold up to scientific evidence? Like, is evolution in the Bible? No. Let's see what else. So
neither is a round Earth, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I look at it. What is the connection between atheism and skepticism? For me, it's a simple question of atheism is basically applying skeptical principles to the God question, basically saying, okay, does a God exist? Skepticism, if I had to define it very simply, it would be withholding belief until the burden of proof has been met, sufficient evidence has been reached that a claim holds up. And essentially skepticism, we're sort of expanding this, and as we say in our opening intro, we're about skeptical inquiry. So this deals with questions of New Age beliefs, conspiracy theories, cryptozoology, which is the study of animals that can't be studied. Just all these, there's a ton of questions. There's a lot of really shady claims that a lot of people accept on little evidence or negative evidence, or basically on whim, or whatever makes them feel good. And I guess what the skeptic says is that isn't good enough. It actually does matter whether the things that we believe are true or not. And
and you know what, let's take a minute to dispel the notion of the closed-minded skeptic, or who's cynical, who's negative, who doesn't want to hear about evidence to the contrary. Really, the best skeptics can look at some evidence and say, change my mind. I want you to show me something that will change my mind.
I think that's a major question. If you look at what a skeptic's doing when they demand evidence, is they're saying, change my mind. Because that's the only important question when it comes to whether you're open-minded or not. Are you willing to look at claims and that you don't necessarily believe in or agree with initially? That's the thing, is that if you throw, okay, what would it take to change your mind? That's the only important question.
Yeah, and that's a great way to open up any debate.
Yeah.
What kind of evidence would change your mind? And if someone answers to the effect of nothing will change my mind, then the debate's over.
I've gotten that answer from a lot of creationists and Christians over the years, who basically say there's nothing that can change my mind. That's the very definition of closed-mindedness.
Yes. Yeah.
Essentially, what we say when we say we demand more evidence, we want positive evidence for these claims, is we're giving you the definition of open-minded. We're saying, we want you to try to change our mind, and this is the recipe for changing our mind.
Right, and we love science, and we stick up for science against people who would distort it, be it religion or for political reasons or willful ignorance. Where a true skeptic will look at any position and change their mind if the evidence is contrary to what they believe. Yeah,
that's the thing I find, though, with a lot of conspiracy theories or religious ideas, is that the evidence that they provide is just so bad.
Yes.
It just doesn't count as evidence. I mean, it's the sort of thing that they wouldn't accept if somebody was making a claim that they would disagree with. I guess the way I like to think of it is, just imagine for a second that you're put on trial for murder. What sort of evidence would you accept being used against you? Would somebody's just deeply held belief, or the fact that they were raised to believe that you were a murderer, or they had a psychic vision, or it came to them through revelation? Would you accept that if you were put on trial? Would this be sufficient? Or
if the victim's mother had a gut feeling that you were just it.
Yeah, that's it. That's just this. I feel this. I feel this very, very strongly. And don't try to invalidate my feeling. And it's like, no, a feeling is one thing, but the question is, does it correspond with reality?
Right.
So,
and we're going to look at negative evidence in a little bit too, because I think that we should really look at what comprises good evidence versus just evidence that just doesn't hold a cup of water. It's just, you know. But before we do that, we should probably touch in on the news a little bit.
Yeah,
and we'll hit our main topic.
Yeah, some interesting things happened this week.
Okay.
We talked about this a little bit last week. The Westboro Baptist Church was going to be going to Comic-Con, and it was going to be a real question of who the goofier character was going to be in this conflict. Well, Comics Alliance, actually, it's always hilarious whenever I get to do a chocolate and peanut butter story. Comic books and religious nutbags.
Yes.
You know, it's two things that are great, that are even great together.
And we have some great pictures of this.
Yeah,
you have some great pictures.
The Comics Alliance had this article that they put out called Superheroes versus the Westboro Baptist Church. They face down humans time and again, but Fred Phelps and his minions from the Westboro Baptist Church were not ready for the cosplay action that awaited them at Comic-Con. After all, who could win against a counter-protest that includes robots, magic anime girls, Trekkies, Jedis, and kittens? Unbeknownst to the dastardly fanatics at the Westboro Baptist Church, the good folks at San Diego's Comic-Con were prepared for their arrival with their own special brand of superhuman counter-protesting, chanting, "What do we want? Gay sex. When do we want it? Now."
Just a note to the guys in the booth, we do have pictures of this, so if you could just punch that up for us.
Yeah, let's punch up some of these pictures, because as great as it is to describe them, it's even better to see for yourself. As we can see, that's probably my favorite one.
That's my favorite one right there. I love that one.
Yeah, that what the F, magnets, what the F, how do they work? Of course, referencing the ICP song.
Miracles was the name of the song.
Miracles.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some more counter-protest ones. Oh, those are the hats in question. Those are the Westboro Baptist Church, who basically are live-action internet trolls. That they are live-action internet trolls. And then there's Bender from Futurama with the "Kill All Humans" sign.
That's actually brilliant.
I love that one.
That's my second favorite picture of the series. I really like that one.
It really is great.
Yeah.
It's just fun to, if you're going to go to a fake protest, to dress like a robot. It's hard to compete with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's All Glory to the Hypnotoad. Yeah. Another Futurama reference. I mean, that's God Hates Kittens.
Yes. Now, one thing I want to mention was that Westboro Baptist Church, they make no bones about getting their schedule out there. They want you to know they're coming to town. That's why I want you to know. That's why I call them internet trolls. It's important to note that as bad as people like Rick Warren and Pat Robertson and a lot of these guys are, they actually do have a goal in mind. They're trying to change somebody's mind. They're all about getting political power to enact their agenda. I mean, this is what they're about. They're about changing somebody's mind. Their basically stated goal is we want everyone to eventually be a fundamentalist Christian the same way as us. Fred Phelps is not like that. The defining trait of an internet troll is that the entire purpose is disruption. They basically inject themselves into a conversation or into a situation to be as offensive as possible. And it's offensive for its own sake. It's not offensive to make a point. It's not offensive to change somebody's mind. It's all about just being the biggest dick you possibly can so that you can giggle about other people being made uncomfortable. And I think he really picked the wrong thing to go after with Comic-Con, which is that he's basically injecting himself where a bunch of people who, I'm a geek, I love geeks. When we see somebody like this, our initial reaction, of course, is to poke them with a stick and laugh at them. We're not, he wants people to get angry. From what I understand, this is a family of lawyers. They're incredibly litigious. Very litigious. They go out looking to make people angry, and a lot of their seed money to go around the country acting like assholes is to provoke somebody to become so angry about the stuff that they're saying that somebody will take a swing at them, somebody will throw a rock at them. I've seen footage of their car being have been pelted with rocks. Yep. Right there's their lawsuit. That's how they do it. The best thing you can possibly do to someone like this. And I had a discussion about this last week where I talked about how Sam and I had been at the not U Village, but the University Street Fair a couple of years ago, and how I'd asked to get my picture taken with a fundamentalist, and how his demeanor absolutely changed when I was giving him attention. Yeah, this is one of those guys with those repent signs. Yeah, Jesus is coming, and you're going to